How you doing? This is Joe Oliver, and this is my presentation on informal assessments. This is 4 ways that I use informal assessments in my own classroom. They're often spontaneous in the moment methods to track student progress, driven by content and performance, easily incorporated into daily routines and activities. Here's a list of some examples. Obviously, checklists, observation. Use of tech ed is going to be your biggest one. One of the first ones that I like to use is Kahoot. This thing has been very instrumental for especially having kids at home and in the classroom. This is a way to use review games and quizzes to have the students kind of stay on the same page, and as well as getting it done the day before a test, so the students can kind of know the areas that they were kind of struggling in. The tech needed, obviously, the students are going to have a laptop or an iPad. Obviously, my laptop, so I could stay with everybody. And we usually post it on the smartboard so the kids could see where they're at as they're taking the quizzes. It's really helpful for online learners to feel like more immersed in the class. It also feels, just like kind of feels like a Jeopardy game, if you will. So it's very fun for the kids. All right. The disadvantage, I would say, I don't do this myself. I just use the content that I've made myself. But I do know there are teachers that have told me that they had problems where they took a test that they found on Kahoot and it might not be as accurate as they wanted or had the same questions and answers that they had. And the other big one is if you have any students that are maybe hard of hearing, have some type of 504 plan, or students with IEPs that maybe aren't as strong as readers, you might have to kind of linger around by them and try to help them out to make sure that they're on the same level as the other students as far as reading the questions and them understanding. Sweat Deck kind of seems like to me, it feels like it's like a technological version of something we did as kids. We would literally flip cards and do push-ups from it. So if it was a heart, it'd be like close grip push-ups, or a diamond if it was diamonds. And this is kind of the same thing. So there's basically like a deck of cards online, and as you flip them, you put in the exercises that you want, and then the students are, a lot of times they're ones that we've already went over, so the students are pretty familiar. And then it's kind of a workout where we're just kind of flipping through the cards. And it's interesting because the kids, they have a little bit more fun with it. It's not just doing push-ups, sit-ups, burpees. They're kind of like, oh, this is cool. Like, you don't know what you're going to get on the next flip. You might get an easy one, you might get a hard one, so it kind of keeps them connected. The tech needs are going to be the same: laptop, obviously the app itself. So there's a huge advantage of kind of making it a little fun, as well as there's a good little audio thing where it really reads out and really helps those students that are hard of hearing, so it's pretty neat. And it just really keeps the stats of kids, and it really helps it to be, at least on our end, it really helps it for us to assess and see where the students are at. One of the disadvantages that I'd really say is kind of the accountability. It's kind of tough when the kids are at home to see if they were really participating or not, because you have 30 cameras and you can barely see them in the camera the way it is. Some of them are dark. Some kids are in their bedrooms and whatnot. That's, you can barely even see. So it kind of have to hold them accountable. Peer Deck's another one that I use. It's an interaction presentation app. The cool thing about it is it's compatible with Google Slides. And it's really easy for the students to log in, and it's easier for me to keep track of what they have. And as we go through the presentations, kids can ask questions as we go. I know it's getting a little redundant, but the students obviously have to have a laptop, so do I, and the app. We've already kind of covered some of the advantages. And the one big thing is, the one disadvantage is it kind of there's a lot of waiting time too. So like if there's students that are kind of like a little bit far back, you got to make sure that everybody's still staying on task and engaged. And the last thing that I want to add is, we basically, for kids, it was hard to keep kids accountable in phys ed. So what we did is we had the kids use either their smartphone or watch, and they would basically use it like a pedometer, and they had to get 5,000 steps throughout the day. We basically gave them we gave them extra time too, so they get it by midnight, because a lot of kids are watching their brothers or sisters, and we knew that. So we gave them that extended period of time, and we had them basically, obviously just go off of the assessment. They have to go out and walk. Someone's got to walk, so when we get that 5,000 steps, that we know that they actually participated in. The other one's like the accountability as well. Did they do it? Did they not? But that's part of it. We're not all back home. But in summary, informal assessments are useful for daily tracking of students. They allow teachers to routinely identify areas that students may need more help in. EdTech definitely is a big help and big resource for this. These are the websites and apps that we use. And thank you.